Okay, so let's talk about something a lot of business owners do. You pay for a service to get your company name plastered across dozens of directories on the web. It feels like you're doing something really productive, right? But what if I told you a massive chunk of that money is going towards listings that are completely invisible to the one audience that actually matters: Google? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this super common SEO expense and show you how to turn it from a money pit into a real powerful asset. So, let's just get right to it with a big question. You're paying for a service that says, hey, we'll put you on 50, maybe even 70 plus business directories. But have you ever actually stopped to ask, how many of those listings can Google see, like really see and give you credit for? The answer? Well, it's probably going to shock you. And this quote right here from our source material just hits the nail on the head. If Google can't find your listings, you're not building a solid foundation for your business online. You're just decorating the internet. You're putting up pretty pictures in a room that no one's ever going to walk into. And this all leads us to what we can call the visibility myth. It's this huge gap between what you think you're buying and what you're actually getting in terms of a real working online presence. And look, I totally get it. The idea behind services like Yext is so appealing. I mean, you enter your info just once, and bam, it gets blasted out everywhere. It's a huge time saver. But that convenience, it's hiding a massive, critical flaw that can completely wreck your local SEO strategy. So let's talk about that flaw. We're calling it the 94% problem. And it all comes down to understanding why having a listing that's simply live on some website is nowhere near good enough. Get this, in a test that was run on citations built through one of these big automated services, after weeks of being live, only 6%, just 6, were actually found or what we call indexed by Google. That is a tiny, tiny fraction of what was paid for.
And yeah, you can do the math. That means a mind-boggling 94% of those listings, the ones you're paying for, were functionally invisible. Sure, they existed somewhere out there in the digital universe, but as far as Google was concerned, they might as well not have been there at all. This right here is the heart of the whole problem.
So I keep using this word indexing. What the heck does it even mean? Let's use this great analogy from our source. Imagine the entire internet is a giant library with billions and billions of books. Well, Google's index is that library's one and only card catalog. And if your book, your business listing, doesn't have a card in that catalog, then nobody who's searching for it is ever going to find it. This chart really makes it crystal clear. A listing that's live but not indexed, it's that book on a dusty shelf down in the basement. It's physically there, yeah, but it's totally lost. But an indexed listing, that's the book with a card right in the central catalog, making it easy to discover. The takeaway here is simple. You have to get into the card catalog.
Now, the consequence of all this invisibility is huge. And believe me, it goes way beyond just the money you're spending on that subscription service every month. Let's break down the real costs. There are really three main costs. First, the obvious one. You're wasting your budget on a service that isn't giving you visibility. Second, and this is even more important, you're getting absolutely zero SEO value from these invisible listings. And third, you're building what is basically a temporary rental authority, which is about as stable as it sounds. Our source material is just brutally honest about this. If Google's little web crawlers never even visit the page your listing is on, that listing has no value whatsoever. It can't be judged, it can't be indexed, and it can't do a single thing to help your business's authority online. It's basically a digital ghost.
Okay, I know, that all sounds pretty bad. It's a big problem. But the good news is, there is a fix. If you're using one of these services, you can actually take control and force these listings to start working for you. Let's walk through the 4-step solution. The process itself is actually pretty straightforward. First, you need to get the actual web addresses, the URLs, for all of your listings. Second, you use a special indexing service to basically tap Google on the shoulder and say, hey, go look at these pages. Third, and this is super important, you have to submit them gradually. And finally, you have to check your work and track your progress to see what's actually getting indexed. Let's just double-click on that third step for a second, the slow drip rate. Why is this so important? Well, think about it. If you just blast 70 new links at Google all at once, it looks super unnatural, and it can actually trigger spam signals. But dripping them out over, say, 30 to 45 days, that looks like natural, organic growth, which is exactly what Google loves to see. Okay, so forcing your generic listings to get indexed, that's a fantastic first step. But if you want to build real, lasting authority, there's a bonus strategy you can and should layer on top of that. Instead of just relying on those generic, cookie-cutter directories, you should go out and actively get high-value citations that are actually relevant to your business, either by location or by industry. We're talking about your local chamber of commerce, networking groups you're part of, or even sponsoring a local 5K race that gets you an online mention. These things are SEO gold.
And here is why they matter so much. A link from your industry's main association or your town's official website carries a ton of trust and relevance. And get this, even if the link is technically no-follow, Google still sees that a trusted, relevant site is talking about you. That tells Google your business is a legitimate, important part of the community.
All right, you've done all this hard work. You've gotten your listings indexed. You are finally getting some real SEO value. But there's one final critical gotcha that we have to talk about. What happens to all of that progress if you decide you want to cancel your automated listing subscription?
This table right here shows the absolutely devastating result from a direct test. While you're subscribed, the URLs are live and working, but the second you cancel, the vast majority of them don't just go inactive, they become 404 error pages, they vanish, poof, and all that SEO value you worked so hard to build, it disappears right along with them.
So here's the bottom line. You're not building a permanent digital asset. You are renting digital space. And just like with a real-world apartment, the moment you stop paying the rent, you're evicted, and everything you built inside is gone.
This is one of those details that can literally make or break a local marketing budget, and yet so many people just completely overlook it. As the source material says, don't be one of them. You need to be aware of what you're actually paying for.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question to chew on. Your listings exist out there, sure, but are they actually working for you? Are they discoverable assets that are bringing you business, or are they just invisible decorations? Because when it comes to local SEO, you have to remember, indexing isn't just part of the game, indexing is the game.